is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are FC.
The Royals finally got the blowout they so badly wanted last night as Perez, Butler, and Aoki crushed home runs on the way to a 12-2 KC victory. Now Ned and the boys hope the bats stay hot, and Ace Ventura pitches like the Arizona Heat. Royals and Diamondbacks next. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Today from Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, it's Game 2 of the series between the Royals and the Diamondbacks. Hi, everybody. Steve PHYSIOC, Rex Udler with you. And the Royals are playing some solid baseball. They've won 10 of their last 13. But how about the job that they've done in National League ballparks dating back to 2012 in June? Rex, they have had uncanny success in National League parks
without the designated hitter. Even some of these numbers you can't explain, but I can't explain. These guys are stepping up. There's other guys besides the DH. Look at the run scored, almost 1 run difference in these National League ballparks going back to 12. Some of those ballparks they played in were a little more hitting friendly, but other guys are stepping up and they're passing the hitting baton around, and they're doing it in bunches.
And if they win tonight, they win the series. They'd be 7-0-2. In Game 1, they won big 12-2 and got a lot of power.
Yeah, it was so nice to see. Now, this ballpark here, with the roof closed, the ball will carry out of here, and they caught a couple of balls underneath it, especially Aoki. The 3 home runs were a welcome sight. Hopefully they can get 1 or 2 tonight.
And how about the milestone man, Alex Gordon? He had number 1,000 and 1,001 base hits in his Royals career. Gordon and the Royals take on the Snakes next.
2007 career hit number 1 for Alex Gordon. It came against Daisuke Matsuzaka. And flash forward, August 5th, 2014, career hit number 1,087 out of the 750 active big leaguers have 1,000 hits. And they saved the ball for him, although Alex wasn't sure he wanted it at that point. Joel Goldberg back here at Chase Field, so a special moment for Alex Gordon. Mentioned 87 active big leaguers in the history of the Royals. There have been 10 to do it in a Royals uniform to get their 1,000th hit. Billy Butler is also one of them, along with Alex Gordon. And for Alex, a special moment, even if he was holding off on that keepsake with the saver ball.
Well, it meant a lot. I mean, the rest wanted to give me the ball, but I was on first. I was like, what am I going to do with it right now? So I was like, just throw it in the dugout. I'll get it later. But it means a lot to do it with one team and, to share it with Billy. I know Billy did it a while ago, and, it took me a little bit of time, but, finally got there.
Congratulations to Alex back in the lineup as the Royals will try to figure out Josh COLLMENTER. The key to him, get to him in the first few innings. First pitch is coming up next.
Going for win number 800 in his managerial career, and he is 58-53 with this Kansas City ball club, just 4.5 games back of Detroit. And we understand the Tigers are losing right now 2-1 in the 8th inning to the Yankees. In the wild card, the Royals within a half game of Toronto. Blue Jays leading 5-1 over Baltimore in the 9th, but it's an exciting time, Rex.
Better believe it. That's another great thing that our commissioner did, Bud Selig, adding an extra round with an extra wild card is a beautiful thing. Now, Aoki, Infante, those two guys have been swinging a pretty good bat. We've also seen Salvi, Butler starting to come on. Lorenzo Cain swinging the bat a lot better. So you pick anyone in there for a bus driver, and you might be right.
That's your Midwest Ford dealers starting lineup, and the pitcher they'll be opposed by is Josh COLLMENTER. He is 6'2", 235, but watch his delivery. He comes straight over the top. He has been strong at home this year, 6-2 record at Chase Field with a 3.10 earned run average.
Defensively behind him, the Diamondbacks, now they have made the most errors in the National League at 80, so their fielding has not been great. However, that outfield is all rookies out there. See what they can do. They got pretty good talent, but you just never know what you're going to get from unproven players. We'll see.
The umpires, the crew chief Dana DeMuth is behind home plate. Tony Randazzo is at first base. David Rockley at second, and Jim Wolf at third. But of course, Dana DeMuth, a fine veteran.
31st year he's in. I'll say he's seen quite a few pitches in his day.
Aoki 1 for 4 with his first big league grand slam last night, and he went on the pitch. COLLMENTER, we may have just seen his best pitch, which is that off-speed pitch coming straight over the top. Rexon has great depth.
It does, and he's just shown his repertoire right there in the first two pitches. Fastball, changeup. That's all he does. He can be deceptive at times, but over the top, straight downhill, he's got a fastball that will go 85 to 88. And he likes to throw high fastballs. A lot of them are up in the zone. He cuts his fastball occasionally, has a little bit of run to the glove side, and he loves his changeup. He'll throw his changeup any pitch, any time to any hitter. So that's what he keeps hitters off balance with. And that changeup 76 to 81 miles an hour.
Now OMAR INFANTE, who had a couple of hits last night, now 5 hits his last 2 games to raise his average to 267.
Now he will flip a few curveballs up there, but not very many. He's thrown just 6% curveballs. Mainly fastballs at 71%, changeups at 21.
Infante pops it up. In comes the third baseman, Cliff Pennington, to make the call and the catch. And Cliff, brought back from the disabled list, he had injured his thumb that had him on the DL for quite some time, but he'll play everywhere on the diamond from second, third, and short. And now it's Salvador Perez.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And Salvador tied his teammate Mike Moustakas for most home runs on the team and gave the team the lead with this blast in inning number 3.
Yep, he was looking up. That's all the pitch he's looking for is sitting up there, and when it's already elevated, all you got to do is put a good level swing on it.
COLLMENTER has allowed 14 big flies this year in 120 innings. Fouled off, and he was in the bullpen earlier this year, but because of the injuries to Bronson Arroyo and Daniel Hudson and Patrick Corbin, well, COLLMENTER is back in the rotation and an 8-game winner.
Aoki's just 2 for 4 in his career off him, and then Billy Butler's 0 for 1 and Escobar's 0 for 1. So not many Royals have seen it.
Salvi's been tearing up the National League, hitting .392 with 4 of his 13 home runs this year against the Nationals.
It's that changeup he's going to use. He's going to try to keep that away from the right-handed hitters, although he does throw it and it comes in. It's got a little bit of a sink to it into a righty.
Salvi to shallow center field. Out goes the second baseman Aaron Hill to make the catch, and the Royals are 3 up, 3 down in the first inning. And now we'll hand that baseball to the kid, Yordano Ventura, the 23-year-old ace out of the Dominican Republic. of the year, and he is starting pitcher looking for win number 9. He has 7 strikeouts in each of his last 2 starts, and Rex, his velocity has actually gone up, where his average fastball has been at 97 miles an hour the last few starts.
Yep, he's really good. He's going to throw it 63% of the time, that fastball. He will cut it occasionally. He'll throw a few cutters. Some of them are by accident, Dave Island, his pitching coach, told me. Curveballs and changeups about the same, about 15% of the time for both those pitches. There's their lineup.
A lot of youngins in there, like Enciarte, 23 years old, out of Venezuela. You've got the veterans Hill, Trumbo, and Montero. But then back to youngins like Peralta, Gregorius, Kieschnick, and then the pitcher COLLMENTER. So here we go with Yordano Ventura facing Enciarte, who was 1 for 4 with a run scored last night when he reached on an infield hit late, when the game really meant nothing. Goes to left field. Gordon has him well played and makes the catch. Out number 1.
Defending behind Ventura this evening, the Kansas City Royals have really done very well defensively. Just 64 errors. That's a really good mark in the American League. They save a lot of runs defensively. And Salvador Perez and Miguel Montero, both catchers here tonight, are Iron Men in the league. Both guys caught more than any other catchers in their league. So we're seeing a nice display of Salvi young at 24 and Montero at 31, more mature in his 8th year.
Well, here they finally get another veteran in there in Cliff Pennington. Just came off the DL today and singles immediately to center field, so he is on. He was on the disabled list with a left thumb injury, went down to Reno for a rehab assignment and hit .406, so he came into this game hot.
Still is. Seeing the first pitch, base hit, broke his bat, but he don't mind.
Now Aaron Hill, who went 0 for 3 yesterday.
Hill, Trumbo, Montero, all the guys there from second all the way through their power lineup are mostly veteran guys.
Another key for Hill's success has always been keeping him in the lineup. He's had a lot of injuries throughout his career, and he takes strike 1 from Ventura. Last year, Aaron only played in 87 games because he was hit in the hand by James McDonald pitch and broke it. Missed almost half the season. When he's healthy, excellent power. That's why they have him hitting 3rd.
He's grounded into a team high 14 double plays. Make it 15. Ventura, high fastballs, typically a fly ball pitcher.
And despite his overpowering fastball, the Royals playing Hill to pull. Good block by Salvi. He's got a chance, but a little high with the throw, and Pennington gets into second base safely.
Okay, those are the little things that the Diamondbacks are going to have to do to be successful and win a game here in this series. Take what they give you. Good job by Pennington. Salvi, he had to stand all the way up out of his crouch. Kept it in front of him, but the ball kicked a little bit too far away from him. But Pennington being aggressive. Only throw that gets him is right on the bag.
So the Diamondbacks have a man in scoring position immediately. And Hill takes, where did that miss? It looked like strike 3, but he didn't get the call from the veteran Dana Demuth.
Looked like there was a small cut to that ball there. Just a little bit of movement going away.
Arizona scored in the first inning last night. Hill checks his swing on a breaker. He went. And that is strikeout number 1 for Yordano and out number 2 in the first inning.
It doesn't take much as a hitter when you're committing and then all of a sudden you say no for your hands to go forward. And that's all it took here for Hill. Look, he told him way before this finish of this shot here to hold up, but it's too late.
Well, yesterday in the first inning, starting pitcher Danny Duffy threw a very good pitch down and in to Mark Trumbo, and he ripped it off the wall for a single that drove in a run. And Rex, Even though he's a right-handed batter, a lot of right-handed batters like the ball up. He likes it down. So you think the Royals may attack him up in the zone?
Yes, they'll stay up there as much as they can. He'll execute his secondary pitches down because that's where those are designed to stay. But his fastball's overpowering enough where he can get by with it upstairs. You kidding me? Anywhere from 99 to 100. That's plenty.
He went 2 for 3 yesterday, and both hits went off the wall. Very impressive double to right center field. And the only out recorded was one where he hit to dead center field about 400 feet away that finally died in Lorenzo Cain's glove. That time, great movement on a fastball.
Ball exploded there. Two-seam fastball, four-seam. The four-seam keeps the ball straight. The two-seam does that. It has some movement. There's more seams that catch the air. It has more movement down.
In the air, right side, playable for Aoki, and he makes the catch, and the Diamondbacks leave a man stranded at second base. Photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. A lot of Royals fans we've seen in the Valley of the Sun. KC winning 58-53. Came in a half game back of a playoff spot. Toronto, though, just did knock off Baltimore 5-1 final score, and that was the team that was ahead of Kansas City in the wild card standings. The Angels, who are in first place, they'll go later tonight against the Dodgers. Detroit losing in the 8th inning. They're the Central leaders 2-1 in the 8th. And here is Billy Butler. COLLMENTER tries to drop a curveball on the outside corner but misses ball 1.
The Royals control their destiny. By the way they play the game, they pitch, they catch the ball, their focus has been really good. One day at a time.
And another curveball from COLLMENTER, which is his third best pitch. But he knows Billy Butler has been hot. 7 hits in his last 9 at bats and had a 4-hit game yesterday. His first of the season. And it was the 15th of his terrific career. Career .296 average with Kansas City, and of course one of the greatest third basemen of all time, George Brett, has the most 4-hit games with 61. 61.
It's not that easy, folks.
He made it look easy at times.
Well, you know, facing COLLMENTER, you have to really just pick up his release point, and it's right on top. Now, there was a pitching machine back in the day they called Iron Mike, and it was one of those that it loaded the ball and then it flung it forward straight over the top. And so that's the type of arm angle he has. Iron Mike. Now, since then, they've got the jugs, they got the wheels, they got different pitching machines now, but just pick it up and tear high and let her fly. That's what Billy's been doing. He says he's been looking up, elevating the pitches, and he's got a nice swing path right now.
Batting .400 with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs his last 10 games. And Josh COLLMENTER, Rex talked about this in the first inning. His curveball is his 3rd best pitch, but his changeup probably number 1. And there goes Billy to right field and racing back and making a fine running catch is David Peralta, the right fielder, for out number 1.
Wouldn't you know it? You could tell by the sound that he barreled that. That was a perfect swing. And those outfielders, man, they can run. It's amazing how quickly they close that gap. That looked like that was going to be a gapper for sure. You hear that nice clean sound? Phantom can watch it. Hardly any vibration at all. That is just solid contact. Stays through it, rolls his hands after contact. Good approach.
Now Alex Gordon, who got base hit number 1,000 and then later 1,001 last night. And he said after the game it means a lot doing it for the same team, but he said, I wish I could have done it at home at the K. Someone asked him, did he remember his first base hit? And he said, yeah, April 5th, 2007. It was a broken bat, shocked the house.
It's okay. Got to get on the board somehow.
Second baseman Hill throws out Alex, and 2 gone.
Yeah, he wanted nothing to do with the ball they threw off the field yesterday, his souvenir 1,000 hit ball. And he said, well, what am I supposed to do with it? If he hands it to me, what, show it to my guys and say, hey, look at me? That's not his style.
No. Here's Lorenzo Cain. That sacrifice fly he had in yesterday's game was his first RBI since July 4th against Cleveland. Well, he's got good command with that curveball early.
He's starting to heat up, though. He's seeing the ball a lot better, and that's what hitters tell you whenever they start hitting. And the reason they tell you that is because it's the truth. There's the low Cain triangle.
Drops it into right center field.
Yep, his teammates call it the low Cain triangle. When he's hot, he's dropping it in there. It's it's a combination doinker and a water the garden shot. It's right over here. That's the triangle. Puts it over there. Just doesn't make solid contact, but he drops it out there. And in batting practice, he actually works on it. You do this by staying inside the ball. As an inside fastball, pulled his hands in. He saw it all the way.
Royals stole their league-leading 92nd base last night. And it was Lorenzo Cain who got it. 16th steal. Well, there's the hits by direction, so that's why he usually faces a defense that's all fanned out. They'll be playing Moustakas to pull. 3 infielders right side and 1 rather deep. Hill is about 20 feet out on the right field grass.
Yep, he's pretty deep, but Moose, he can just hit it over it. That's all. That's what he wants to do. Don't worry about the shift. Just get one up and turn on it. And his curveball looks like it's straight over the top of 12-6, and it looks to me like you can read it easy. You can pick it up. So when it starts up around your head, you know it's going to be good hitting. When it starts out around your shoulders, it's going to be in the dirt.
Well, he grew up in Homer, Michigan, 30 miles from the Indiana border, and led his high school team to the small school state title. But Josh COLLMENTER received no offers because of his unorthodox delivery, over the top. Pitching coaches and colleges thought he'd get hurt, so they stayed away. But the Central Michigan coach said, I like him. The guy competes. So what if it's unorthodox? Stay with the delivery. He thought there was a lot of deception in it, particularly with his changeup. And there is a Josh Fan.
That's back-to-back changeups. He'll double up with those pitches, the changeup and also the curveballs. Throw it any pitch, any time, that change.
COLLMENTER, when he left Central Michigan, had 24 wins and a 2.63 ERA and was Arizona's 15th round pick in 2007. Moose foul tipped it into the glove of the catcher Miguel Montero.
3 changeups in a row. Oof, Moose is telling himself, you know, I would have liked to just swung through that one. See if I could have caught it.
A 3-0 changeup.
Yeah, he's got an average move to first base.
Kane does not go, and the ball is drilled to right field and deep and gone.
That's how you do it. Just like I telestrated. Hit it through that shift. Over the top of him. He waited him out. I loved it. Good AB by Moose. And he wins it.
He hit it so hard and on such a line, I wasn't sure if it would clear the fence or hit on top of the fence. But he got it over and out, and now he's taking the lead on Salvi.
And a 2-run bomb. Beautiful early on. That pitch was down, but Moose had a nice little take back, loaded his hips, and let his hands do the work. See how he loads his bottom half? Oh, yeah, that was a line shot.
MOUSTAKAS with his 14th home run, and he's now eclipsed the total he had last year in RBIs. He had 42 RBIs last year, 2 more today, give him 44, and the Royals take an early 2-0 lead on the Diamondbacks.
Moose ball.
Take the early lead, and fans, don't let the end of summer stop you from coming out to the K. You now can receive Field Plaza tickets for only $10 and Hy-Vee infield tickets for only $5. This deal is only good for select Royals home games on August 12th, September 2nd, September 16th. So make sure to take advantage of these end of summer specials by stopping by the Kauffman Stadium box office, visiting Royals.com, or by calling 1-800-6-ROYALS. So go to your calendar again and write down August 12th, September 2nd, and September 16th. Great deals for great seats.
Better believe it.
Royals playing well. They've won 10 of their last 13. That ball struck pretty well. Kane off to the races. and he won't get there, and one hops up against the wall. And moving into second base with the leadoff double is Miguel Montero.
Good opposite field swing. Ventura, when he's out over the middle of the plate, like any pitcher, he can get hit. And with his velocity, you don't have to swing hard. Montero in his 8th season as a big leaguer, he's very controlled with his swing, and he's a very solid defender, and also he goes gap to gap. He's got a little bit of power as well. He's got 11 homers.
Now David Peralta, who has had a good start for Arizona. 26-year-old rookie out of Venezuela. He started the year at Double-A and was hitting .297. He's even done better than that in the big leagues at .311. And he waves at the changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And having never faced Ventura before, you're going up there looking fastball and hope that's all you get. But that changeup there messed him up. Ooh, good pitch. Looks like Dana DeMuse being a little tight on the corner.
So he went from 86 to 98 miles an hour.
You could see if he would have swung at that, he'd have been way behind it.
They're staying in on Peralta. They hit it to the right side. Billy gets it to Ventura. Moving to third is Miguel Montero, where now a ground ball or fly ball could make it a 2-1 ball game.
And I'm sure if Tony La Russa is watching, he would say that's a productive out. It's what he wanted. Like Billy Butler's feed there. That was nice. He got some few steps coming forward. Was able to give him a good firm feed.
Well, Didi Gregorius came in this situation last night late and hit a ground ball to the second baseman to drive in a run. And the Royals playing their middle infield back. Their corners are in, and Gregorius goes after the first pitch and fouls it back, strike 1. So they'll give up a run to get the out. But if it's hit to Moose or Billy, they may be coming home. Montero doesn't run that well. High fastball and fouled back, and I like that from Salvador. And I know you were talking with Giordano on the bus ride over here, and you asked him who makes the calls. Does he call his game? And he laughed. And what did he tell you, Hud?
Yeah, he said, look, I don't even mess with it. Salvi's game. He calls everything, and I leave him alone. And so then I got to the ballpark and I talked to Salvi and said, Salvi, you know, you're really good with your body language with a lot of the pitchers, but with Ventura, how do you handle him? And he says,
he struck him out. The ball got away, and Salvador is saying the ball was fouled off. And Miguel Montero will come home if it's a strikeout and wild pitch. And now they will discuss things with the third base umpire, Jim Wolf.
Yeah, that was a little funky. We'll have to see that again. That ball moves at such a high rate of speed. Sometimes you can't pick it up.
And I won't know until we see the replay, because I was watching the field. We're, of course, broadcasting from behind, and your view is from this center field camera. I don't know.
It didn't look like he foul tipped it. It looked like it got some of Sal's thumb. Hard to see from that one, too.
Well, right now, all 4 umpires are conferring about the play. Foul ball. So advantage Royals.
Yeah, they'll take it. So the runner's got to go back. So Ned got halfway out there, and then he turned around quickly. All he really wanted to do was have the other umpires talk about it. So he didn't have to say anything. Dana DeMuth, 31 years in,
and not only that, Hud, but Salvi didn't even search for the baseball. So you really got the feeling that Salvi immediately thought it was fouled off.
It's a good break. Could have ticked it. We still can't really tell for sure, but the umpire
the high heat
calls it a foul ball. It's a foul ball.
He got Gregorius to go after 2 high fastballs early in this count, and then threw that breaking ball. But the breaking ball twice in this game has been a little short. Great break to it, but short. They may stay with the fastball. No, it went back to the breaker, trusting Salvi to block it, and he did. Montero stays put at third base.
So many of the Royals pitchers tell me how nice it is that they can have confidence in just throwing the ball to Salvi, the breaking ball. There he is. Predominantly fastballs. When you have that type of weapon, you're going to use that. That's your out pitch. Curveball, changeup, he just throws those occasionally to get him off the fastball. But they will swing and miss on him. And to finish my thought about Salvador Perez, he said that I have to be more visual with him. And so, you know, I talked about how we watched him last night with a blowout in the last 2 innings, how adamant he was with his body language and how he was really demonstrating where he wanted the pitches. And he said with Ventura, he has to get even more visual. So he said, you'll be seeing me do a lot of body language things behind the plate with him to try to get his attention and focus down in the zone.
Why does he need to be more demonstrative with Yordan's the inexperience?
He's a young buck. Got to harness him. It's the whole thing.
He's 1 year younger than Salvador. And then he aired it out. And after being ahead 0-2, he loses Gregorius, who does have good speed. So Salvi and Giordano want to get together. And right now, Rex, it seems like he's losing command with that curveball, and when he went from the curve back to the fastball, all of a sudden his fastball was up and away from a left-handed batter.
And a lot of that comes from trying to do too much. So that's what Salvi was talking about, trying to harness him and just keep him level-headed and keep his emotions out of it.
Well, here is Roger Kieschnick, 27-year-old kid out of Dallas. He was with the Giants organization during spring training, but let go in early April and signed by Arizona. And there's that fastball running away from a left-handed batter. Arizona with runners in the corners. Infante and Escobar are wanting a double play. Late on the fastball. A lot of Midwest fans might remember the name Roger Kieschnick. He played college baseball in the Big 12 Conference, was the Big 12 Conference Freshman of the Year in 2006. That year he was playing against the Kansas States and Mizzou's of the world in our area, and then Mizzou, of course, went to the SEC. In there.
Free and easy. Now, Ventura, mentioned it, coming off of consecutive outings with 7 strikeouts or more. Needs that strikeout.
21 pitches already, over 95 miles an hour. And again, he goes low and away. A 2-2 count. He was able to get Kieschnick to swing at that pitch earlier, but not this time.
Got some really good late life to it.
Ripped down the right field line, foul, and caught well by the ball boy. We'll give the fan a souvenir.
Give that ball
all
boy,
over it.
Give him a contract. He's a ball man. He's not a ball boy.
No. He's played this game before.
Oh, man, he's got skills. Of course, he knew it was foul, so it's all his. Picked it up, showed the umpire.
That's Dave Abdu.
That's a nice catch, Dave. Had it all the way.
He's protecting the real ball boy. And then a fastball at 99 miles an hour blows away Roger Kieschnick.
It's what he needed. 2 outs now.
And facing the pitcher, Josh COLLMENTER.
Salvi, he's messing with Montero. Montero's down there at third base, and he faked that throw, and Moose wasn't anywhere near the bag. So Montero, he went back to the base, and he snapped his head around looking at Salvi like, how dare you do that to me? Earlier.
Wow, they got that call.
Earlier during batting practice, Montero, the veteran, called Salvi a beast.
Yeah, I saw them visiting outside the cage when Arizona was taking batting practice as COLLMENTER looks weak on his first 2 swings, and Salvi just almost had a shadow over Montero.
And Salvi wants to pick him off in the worst way. He's peeking down there.
Well, they're staying with the heat. They're not going to mess with the curveball that has been biting in the dirt. He's threw one wild pitch already, and one that was debated, and the correct call made by the umpires that took a run off the board for the Diamondbacks.
Finish him.
COLLMENTER to center field, but Lorenzo Cain is there to pull it down, and that will do it. The Royals hold their 2-0 lead here in the Valley of the Sun, just a bit north, one of the most beautiful sights in America, the Grand Canyon. Who is the Royals' best hitting pitcher? Bruce Chen, Jeremy Guthrie, James Shields, or Yordano Ventura? Text ABC or D 432-432. I'm going to go with Shields because he put together, what was an 11-pitch at bat against San Diego earlier this year. He wound up flying out, but he also had a couple of hits in one game, a single and a double.
Bruce Chen, he's got a lot of veteran at-bats, man. He's hit 1,000 a few times, Fizz. I don't know.
1 for 1 in a couple of seasons.
That's right.
We'll let the fans decide.
I think we should.
Here is Yordano Ventura, and he had a base hit earlier this year. Line drive to left field, so he is batting a sizzling .500. May 5th at San Diego, and that was a terrific game he pitched. He wound up with a no decision.
Yeah, you know, if he just stands there the whole day,
that's what he's doing.
All of his at bats and does not swing, that would make Ned really happy. There's just so much that can happen. We saw Duffy square around a bunt last night. First 2 pitches on his hands. If one of those pitchers get their hand hit by a ball, they're out. Just scary.
Well, that was an impressive swing there.
He was tommyhawking Allen.
Well, he's trying to get some votes, Hud.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. That guy on the far left there, Vargas.
You bet.
He's the best hitter.
Long Beach State, he was a terrific hitter.
We just haven't seen him.
Ooh. Giordano did not look that strong on a curveball thrown by COLLMENTER, so the votes might be going to Shields and Guthrie and Chen. Well, your Kansas City Honda dealers bring you the MTP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda. Aoki.
Oh, in his first career grand slam. Oh, yeah, he told me before the game that he didn't even feel the bases as he rounded them. He felt like he was stepping on cotton.
Well, he has been swinging a hot bat of late. He had a career high 4 RBIs because of that slam, and now has 8 driven in his last 8 games. 23 for the year. He had gone 6 weeks without an RBI, and all of a sudden, driving the bus. During the 10-3 win streak, Nori Aoki is batting .319.
Another thing that he said is last season for Milwaukee, his first hit of the year was a home run. So, you know, he was pretty comfortable. And but this year he said, man, he didn't know if he'd ever hit one. It's been a tough adjustment for him.
Oh, nice play by the third baseman, Cliff Pennington, who was playing in, and Aoki almost slashed it past him. 2 outs.
But Aoki's making some good adjustments, and there's nothing wrong with that one right there. We haven't seen him go that way very often. There's a lot of holes down that line over there for him. Look at Alan Trammell in the background now over there. Great shortstop. Should be a Hall of Famer. He works the infielders for Kirk Gibson. Longtime veteran coach, but one heck of a baseball player.
We had a great conversation before the ball game because he reminded me of his inviting me early to his office a few years back. He was the manager of the Detroit Tigers, and I had broadcast with Sparky Anderson early in my Angel career, and he had invited me to come in when Sparky had retired from broadcasting, and it was a conversation with Alan Trammell. Also invited were Kirk Gibson, Jack Morris, Lance Parrish. I mean, there were about 7 members off of that '84 team that won the World Series, and I was just all ears, just listening to story after story. And Alan Trammell just raves about his Hall of Fame manager Sparky Anderson and the job that he did with not only the '84 team, but getting 5 teams to the World Series.
And you're able to pick up some valuable stuff, especially when you go into coaching. Trammell's been coaching since '99.
Pennington's all over the place this inning and throws out 2 Royals. He pulls Trumbo off the bag, but he makes the catch and tags Infante as he slides by.
much about fantasy camp, and we've got a couple fantasy campers here out in Arizona. Jim Witkowski and Brad Stallings right next to me. And interesting because they didn't really know each other until this past year at fantasy camp. And Jim's from KCMO, but Brad lives out here in Arizona, originally from Southern California. And you guys took part in your first fantasy camp last year. What was it like?
It was amazing, man. It was one of the best weeks of my life. So
we see a ball deep to right. Aoki's going to try to get that one off the wall. And a possible triple here for Inciarte. He is just in before the throw. So triple, that's kind of how it goes in.
Right. We hit just like that.
Because of the coaching of Jeff Montgomery.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you guys were team Jeff Montgomery, and that's my partner, so I'm sure you guys were in good hands. How did you do?
Well, I hope. I've being some of the younger guys, I think, out there helped us a lot. But, you know, it was just awesome time. And just coming out there, we were the first 2 draft picks for the team. At least that's what they tell us. I'm sure they tell it to everybody. But it was just awesome. Great time. And hitting was good. Fielding was fun. And it just, man, just being around all those people is just a fantastic time, you know.
Well, it's cool, too, because you guys never knew each other. And I think it's amazing, too, Brad, that, you know, I was asking you, I said, okay, well, so you live out here in Arizona. What did you move out here from Kansas City? But that wasn't the case, Southern California. So how did you become a Royals fan?
Well, I grew up a huge baseball fan. I played it my whole life and just fell in love with the Royals in the early 80s, and especially in 85 when they won the World Series. And ever since then, I followed them the whole way. And the way I found out about fantasy camp is I watched the DirecTV feed, and I saw the fantasy camp advertising. You got to be kidding me. It's here in Arizona. I'm going. Every day I felt like I got my money's worth.
And so the good news about this year, you said you love that 85 team. Everybody loved that 85 team, is that it is a reunion this year, too. And by the way, guys, there are only 20 spots left. These two have already taken a pair of those spots, but Mark Gubicza is going to be there. Steve Balboni, who HUD can let us know is probably still here behind home plate scouting again. Brett Saberhagen, Hal McRae. There are a lot of big names from that 85 team. So I'm sure that'll be exciting for you guys. But how about meeting some of those players, the George Bretts of the world last year?
Oh, I mean, you know, hearing their stories is just awesome in itself. And meeting George Brett, obviously my idol growing up, like anybody in my era, you know, and then just some of the older players was just fantastic. Like Sweeney being there and those guys, they just make you feel so welcoming. And just, like I said, just hearing all the stories of being what it feels like to be an actual major leaguer, and then sharing the locker room with them and everything else was just fantastic, and definitely a dream come true.
And so did you guys just kind of plan this trip? I mean, it's in your your neighborhood now for you, being out here in Arizona. Was this kind of a reunion, a chance to catch up?
Kind of like that. His parents live out here, so we planned so he would come out during the Royal Series and we'd be able to catch the game tonight. And so it just worked out perfectly. So now, and we still keep in contact with all of our teammates from last year, which is kind of cool. We email, we go back and forth, we do Facebook, stuff like that. So
yeah, I can vouch for that. I played in 2008, and we still keep up with some of those guys. Actually, one of my teammates, Brad Waller, is here, and his dad, Ken Waller, and they're up here somewhere. I'm going to visit with them in a bit. But I guess HUD's got a question for you guys. I don't know where that's going, although that will be the first run of the game for the Diamondbacks. HUD, what do you got?
Yeah, I want to ask Brad, who tells the best stories? I love them. They never get old.
No, they never get old. They always get, exaggerated, of course, over the years. So they want to know, Brad and Jim, who told the best stories at fantasy camp?
Well, I would say George Brett told the most amazing stories at fantasy camp. Listening to some of that stuff from a Hall of Famer is pretty cool.
Same for you, Jim, or is it another personality, a John Mayberry or someone like that?
I would say John Mayberry is hilarious. The funny things that he brings in, but honestly, I had a lot of good time talking about Cookie Rojas and just talking about that generation, and Jerry Terrell and those kind of guys. Seitzer is obviously a great guy to talk about. Talk about a guy who knows everything about the game. And Monty, of course, was just fantastic. But man, it's just awesome. I mean, every player has so much different stories in the lifestyle that we all want to be that guy. It's awesome.
Well, we encourage everybody to get on the Royals website, sign up, and we'll get it back upstairs to you guys. Jim Witkowski, Brad Stallings, thanks for the visit. Let's change things around here right now and get a Royals win. Guys?
Thank you very much, Joel. And right now, Arizona on the run 3 of the first 4 Diamondbacks have reached in the 3rd inning with a leadoff triple by Inciarte. And after striking out Cliff Pennington, Hill and Trumbo with solid base hits. And now the tying run just 90 feet away for Miguel Montero, who doubled his last time off.
Yeah, and they're getting on his fastball. So he's going to have to mix him up a little bit more, especially as they go along. I'm sure that's what Salvi's telling him right now. Turner Ward, the hitting coach for the Diamondbacks. He's in his 2nd season with them, has all told him, look for the fastball early in the count, look for it, and try to lay off of the break-in ball. Just so they're sitting all over the fastball, and they're getting it.
And his command with the fastball has been a bit inconsistent. Montero takes low, ball 1.
Hill with a good slide into 3rd base. He's a veteran player that plays hard.
It's from the Valley.
That's right. Central San Joaquin in California.
Raisin capital of the world.
That's right. Pretty good spot there. You can see him bringing in that changeup. Montero shot him to the opposite field gap his first time up. They couldn't score him.
He has not gotten 1 ground ball out yet, and that's what he needs. Well, that was a great location there, and he has a 2-1 count.
That's a pitch there that Montero wants. He wants something elevated so he can get a sacrifice flyer more. Outfield's pretty deep. Lorenzo Cain, he's respecting the opposite field power that he showed in his last at bat.
Already at 50 pitches and just 1 out here in the 3rd inning, with Hill at 3rd and Trumbo at 1st. Barely misses outside. The count is now full at 3-2. I doubt they would send Trumbo.
Well, Trumbo, he's got 1 stolen base. He runs pretty well for a big guy.
I'm sure Arizona doesn't want to strike him out, throw him out, double play. He does not go, and there's the strike him out. So out number 2 recorded. And that's 4 strikeouts now for Giordano. He had not pitched well his previous start before the Minnesota Twins start last Thursday.
Yeah, but if he keeps locating that fastball there and in like he did Montero in that last sequence of pitches, he's going to be just fine.
Giordano with a 7.47 ERA. The 3 starts before the Minnesota game. And he beat Minnesota last time out 6-3 at the K, giving up 1 earned run in 7 innings. Arizona 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. You might remember 1st and 3rd they had only 1 out. But Ventura struck out Kieschnick. COLLMENTER flied out. Now David Peralta, who grounded out to 1st his first time up. Batting .333 the last 6 weeks of the season.
He's got some occasional pull power, but mainly he's a gap-to-gap type hitter.
Moustaka's sprinting for it. Salvi's over, and oh man, what a fine play Salvador made. Or did it touch part of the screen? It touched part of the screen, so no catch.
So when you're going over for a foul ball, it's interesting, especially with all of that stuff in the on-deck circle he has to get through. Now let's see. Looks like it might have hit higher up on the screen. Salvi had to wade through the donuts and the hitting, batting stuff that's in the batting circle.
An 0-2 count on David Peralta. He airs it out at 99 miles an hour, but missed his target by about a foot. First and third, 2 out. In this situation, opponents only batting 185, but here is a single to center field, and it ties the game as Hill checks in from third. Not a good pitch on an 0-2 count. On a 1-2 count, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, it was up in the zone. Peralta stayed on top of it. Kept his hands up, and he stayed right down through it. Wide open out there in center field.
Here is Didi Gregorius. Walked his first time up. Ball 1.
Gregorius from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Most guys over there, you know, with all of the different people coming on vacations, they all speak different languages. He speaks English, Dutch, Spanish. Well rounded in all of the languages of the world. Spray hitter. It's a really good bunter. They like his skills. He can play shortstop, second base, third base. He's got good speed.
Came in at second base as a reserve last night and started at shortstop tonight. And he is a big part of their future. Bang to the right side. Butler has it. Gets it to Ventura. Inning over, but the Diamondbacks tie the game with a couple of base hits. One by Hill, one by Peralta. When we come back, we'll see Salvador Perez.
Before about Montero and Perez, they're chatting right now. Two Venezuelans that happen to play catcher. Montero, a bit older than Salvi. He said the first time he laid eyes on Perez on a field, it was during winter ball. Montero was just attending the game, and Salvi was DHing. But then he started to watch highlights after Salvi became a rookie, and he would see clips late at night, highlights, and he thought, man, this kid is really good. And his impression now is this. He said, first of all, I want to do everything I can to get Salvador Perez out in the series. But after that, I really want to soak it in and enjoy watching this guy play. and watching this guy catch. He knows how to handle a pitching staff. He's great with the young guys. He said, you ask any general manager in the American League who the best catcher is in that league, every GM will tell you Salvador Perez. He said the 2 best catchers in baseball, Perez and Molina, hands down. High praise from the veteran Miguel Montero.
Believe it. He called him a beast.
COLLMENTER worked him very well down and in, and finally got him on a swing and a miss. Good job by Miguel Montero. And as you see, our Toyota League leaders, Salvador Perez and Miguel Montero, tied for most starts by big league catchers this year, each with 97. Jonathan Lucroy is very quietly having a terrific season for the Milwaukee Brewers as well.
3 straight changeups to Salvador Perez. All of them had some sink in to his arm side and into the righty. 3 in a row. He'll throw it any time. Okay, Billy Butler's getting a little bit of lift in his swing now. We talked about it before the game. We even showed you numbers about how many times he's hit the ball hard on the ground, but he's coming down, and that's a good thing. He's not swinging up, but he's going down through the ball, and that generates some backspin on pitches that are elevated. And he's hit a couple of home runs that were down low. See, he's getting some nice wood on that bat and a little bit of a loud sound when it comes off it. Good backside. Good balance on top. And he hit a really nice ball his first time up to the opposite field, got caught.
Another good changeup by COLLMENTER, and he has struck out the first 2 Royals he's faced here in inning number 4.
COLLMENTER charted the game last night, so he was watching, and he knows that he has what it takes to make the adjustment on the hitters, the changeup. And he's thrown more changeups tonight than fastballs.
It almost seems like it comes from behind his head.
It's deceptive. He hides the ball pretty well. Comes out of that same arm slot straight over the top. Another changeup. Yeah, it looks like fastball and changeup about the same, but you know, he's getting them on the changeup. He's going to have to be a little bit more patient with that pitch. Make him come up with it. Come up in the zone.
Alex Patience has allowed him to get ahead 3 balls and no strikes. He grounded out to second base his first time up. Gordon, 301 hitter with 14 home runs in interleague play. And they gave him the green light with 2 out and a 3-0 count.
That's right. Montero knew. See how he went, like he gave the swing sign to the pitcher. He said he's swinging 3-0 here.
He walked him, and that is the first base on balls issued by COLLMENTER this year, only the 32nd this season in almost 125 innings. Join us for the 3rd bobblehead giveaway of the season this upcoming Sunday as your boys in blue host the Giants. The first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive an Alex Gordon bobblehead courtesy of Pepsi. Gates open at 11:30, so get your bobblehead early. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS now for tickets. Lorenzo Cain singled his first time up and then scored on the Mike Moustakas home run.
That ball 4 pitch to Alex Gordon was a borderline pitch, but Dana DeMuth, he's being consistent. He's not giving it to Ventura, and he's not giving it to COLLMENTER.
It's been 119 at bats since Lorenzo Cain last hit a home run, and that came off of Dan Herron of the Dodgers back on June 25th.
He's starting to get his timing. Starting to get some more confidence going. Not swinging out of the strike zone like he did for a period before the All-Star break. He was swinging at everything. Plate discipline is really hard to teach. You can develop it, but for some it takes longer than others.
Kane, more of a free swinger. He has only walked 15 times this year. And that's in over 300 at bats.
See, again, a hitting count 2-0. He throws a changeup. So I guarantee you some of those hitters are going to start looking for that changeup up in the zone.
COLLMENTER has fallen behind the last two Royals 3-0. He lost Gordon. And Lorenzo taking all the way, trying to distract Josh by jumping around the batter's box, but he had no intention of ever swinging.
Yeah, sometimes it's better just to stand there and measure the pitch and look at it. Stay in there on it.
Gordon goes, the pitch taken, throw by Montero, and Alex is
ball four.
Ball four is safe. You know, I would wish the home plate umpire would scream it out. That way Montero doesn't have to make the throw. A lot of time they will decide so late to make the call, but right now the Royals have 2 on with 2 out and Mike Moustakas up.
Yeah, no matter the call, you can't listen for the call. You have to just go ahead and go through with the play.
Yeah, but there were umpires in the past. Frank Pulley, I believe, was one who would immediately shout out ball 4.
It helps, but they all have different styles.
Right.
But you just have to go through with the play. And he did. It's good practice for both guys. Alex getting a good jump, and Montero with his release point.
Moose got a pitch to his liking and hammered it out. Really squared it up perfectly. He now has 44 RBIs this year. Back to the second inning.
Fastball down on over the plate. Yeah, he went down. He attacked it. Yeah, good short path. That's how you hit it through the shift. Hit it over it.
Moose takes the lead over Salvador, who tied him last night. Last night the Royals with 2 3-run home runs and 1 grand slam.
With 2 outs, they'll pull him over. They'll shift it.
With 1 out, would they play the shortstop to the shortstop side of second base?
It's possible, because you know they got to turn 2. You got to have your guys in the right order so they can get to it.
With 2 out, they'll stay with that shift. Flip Pennington, though, over at third base, so Gordon doesn't rip it off so easily.
There's a good eye. He's spitting on that changeup. It's going away from the lefties into the righties.
Terrific fade on that pitch. He's gone with a curveball on occasion, but mainly to the right-handed batters. Drops one in there, and it's a 2-1 count. Into right field. That's a base hit. Here comes Alex Gordon roaring around third, and he will score the go-ahead run as Moustakas has 3 RBIs tonight.
Oh man, that's clutch with 2 outs. Moose is doing everything right. It's because he's looking. He's trying to pick up his pitch. He's seeing it good out of COLLMENTER's hand. COLLMENTER. And that ball's hittable. It's right out over the middle of the plate. Good short swing. He stayed on top of it enough to get it down in front of Peralta, the right fielder. One of the reasons Alex scored so easily is that he left on contact. Great jump out there at second base. Who's hitting 238 before that single there with runners in scoring position. That mark's coming up. Alex Gordon, when you slide in the bases like that, you're going to get some dirt in your eye.
Alcides Escobar hit the ball hard his first time up, flied out to right field.
Two-out rallies really break the back of the pitcher, man. They get frustrated. You see his jump right away on contact. It's the only way he scores there. Pretty good throws, a little bit on the first base side of home plate. That was Moose's 5th 3 RBI game. It ties the season high.
And we're only in the 4th inning. He's driven in all 3 Royal runs. Escobar looking to give Kansas City insurance. He'll be aggressive because Ventura's spot is next. That was a pretty good pitch to swing at, but it was a little late and low. The inning started with back-to-back strikeouts of Perez and Butler, but Gordon and Kane walked, and Moustakas made COLLMENTER pay for a walk. And he knocked in the Royals' 3rd run. Just low.
Man, I don't know where that was.
Looked pretty good, and COLLMENTER thought so also.
I'll tell you what, that's a tight strike zone. When hitters know that, they can be even more selective.
And that will get out of play over the Royals dugout, and the count is even at 2-2. COLLMENTER has struck out 3. Royals won last night 12-2, hitting 3 home runs by Perez, Butler, and Aoki. Two on, 2 out for Escobar. Very good speed at second in Kane. In there, strike 3 called, and that will do it for the Royals. But they do get a clutch base hit with 2 outs by that man, Mike Moustakas.
That's right. The moose is loose in the Valley of the Sun. Stay hot.
soon to College and King in Overland Park. Buy your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit us at yourmidwestforddealers.com. Hot one today, temperature near 110, but the Royals have scored 15 runs in the first 2 games of this series and have the lead 3-2. They're hoping to get more good pitching from Yordano Ventura, who gave up 2 in his last inning, the 3rd. But overall, the Royals really pitching well since the All-Star break, and 10-7 since the break. There's a good breaking ball. Roger Kieschnick will lead things off. He had a key strikeout with runners on first and third and only 1 out. And a swing and a miss on a cut fastball. Hitters 8, 9, and 1 in the 4th inning.
Starting to mix up his pitches more. And that's all up to Salvi. Salvi's calling the game for Ventura.
A little bit low, and the count now evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Just finishing up the 2nd time through the order of the Diamondbacks. Salvi will tell Ventura when to shake his head, even just to kind of get the hitters off of a certain pattern. Pretty tight zone. Ventura, don't get frustrated. Don't try to keep your composure.
Yeah, he had Kieschnick down 0-2, doesn't want to lose him. So he goes right after him with the heat and strikes him out at 97 miles an hour. His 5th strikeout of the evening. Rex, as you take a look at the tale of 2 staffs, the Royals since July 22nd are 10-3, and the big reason why they're pitching 2.75. Meantime, the Diamondbacks have an ERA over 5, 3rd highest in the major leagues. COLLMENTER takes ball 1. Diamondbacks right now in 2nd to last place in the National League West, and the Royals in 2nd place in the Central, but moving on up because Detroit lost today to the Yankees 5-1. Toronto did win their game 5-1 over Baltimore. And by the way, fans, make sure to grab your seat and get to the ballpark early next Wednesday when we honor KC's Baseball Pass with a free Kansas City A's poster presented by Pitcraft Printing and Sprint. Be one of the first 10,000 fans to the gates and receive this limited edition poster. Plenty of tickets are available now, so call Royals.com or 1-800-6-ROYALS now. And the A's are in town, so that'll be interesting, giving away that poster as COLLMENTER strikes out. 6 now for Ventura. So you want to get to the yard for that, getting that great Kansas City A's poster with the Oakland A's in town, the team with the best record in baseball at 69-43. A's lost today to Tampa Bay 7-3. So they suffered their 44th loss.
I heard we get to call a game from left field.
Cool.
Yeah, just like we did earlier last month. We called a game from the Diamond Club.
Had a blast doing that.
That'll be fun.
You bring your glove?
Oh, most likely out there.
I think you'll need security from William and David Hudler, meaning their sons who are much better defensive players than you ever were.
There's going to be a lot of fans with gloves. In Kansas City, we see catches all the time. They've got great hands, glove or not.
Well, if you catch a home run ball, it better be from a Royal. You better be throwing it back on the field otherwise.
Yeah, I don't want them to kick me out of the game, though. As bad as my arm is, I might hit somebody out there.
Yeah, you pitched to the players' dads during the dad's trip.
It wasn't very pleasant for the hitters.
Ground ball. Ventura will take it, and he'll take it unassisted. Got there just before Enciarte, and a 1-2-3 4th inning for Yordano. He has a 3-2 lead. Jeremy Guthrie will get the start on Thursday. He defeated the A's last Friday night and 6 shutout innings, then got great help from the bullpen as he outdueled Sonny Gray in a 1-0 victory. Raul Ibanez hit one out.
Oh man, Guthrie, he was tying them up all night long.
And that will be tomorrow night against the Snakes. Vidal Nuno, who played college baseball at nearby Baker University, a little bit south of Lawrence. He will make the start for Arizona. And there is strike one to Yordano Ventura, who fouled one off last time up, but ended up by striking out in a curveball, which wasn't fair from a fellow pitcher.
Well, he returned the favor. Struck COLLMENTER out on a curveball.
Left a fastball up.
Ooh, man, that was a good rip.
Our pre and post game producer predicted a home run, Brian Shapiro.
Well, he's still in it.
He had a good swing there. Brian, a pretty good college player back in his days in Ohio.
That's right. Well, after taking a swing like that, he might get a changeup.
Yep. Curveball swung on and missed. Here's our Sprint family question of the day. The answers: who is the Royals' best hitting pitcher? 64% of you said James Shields. You must have seen that game where he had a single and a double.
Yep, he loves to swing it.
Yeah, I liked his at bat in San Diego. Man, he was fouling off tough pitch after tough pitch, and he goes out there and competes. He was a very good third baseman growing up in the Valley, San Fernando Valley of Southern California.
They love hitting the pitchers. They never get a chance to, especially in the American League.
And in batting practice, he was going deep. How about that this year? 400. And Rex, we all saw Adam Dunn pitch in that blowout last night where the Texas Rangers were all over the Chicago White Sox. And the big donkey, Adam Dunn, came out and pitched that final inning. And he took a lot of criticism today because he was an outstanding football player growing up, and he was topping out in the high 70s, and they expected at least some 90-mile-an-hour heat. Ground ball back to the mound, and Aoki is out number 2. Let's take a look at James Shields swinging the bat in St. Louis.
Look at that, going the other way and then getting a cookie out over the middle and drove it to the gap. Knocked in a run. Teammates loved it. He was playing cool, like I've done this before. Yeah, don't be giving no high five
like
signs.
John Riggins scoring a touchdown.
That's
Act like you've been there before. Infante tries to bunt his way on. So I've got to ask this question, Rex. Adam Dunn pitched for the Chicago White Sox, who's a designated hitter. He has over 400 home runs. Of all the Royals, who would you like to see pitch?
Billy Butler.
Really? Why is that?
Just like to see him. Remind me of a Babe Ruth from the right side.
I'd like to see Nori Aoki pitch. If he took a line drive back at the middle, man, he might explode.
Need some drama, wouldn't there?
Yeah. You know, I asked Moose that question and Gerard Dyson, and you know, they both said one guy, Escobar. They said Alcides Escobar has great stuff.
Yeah, you know, though, you don't want a guy to go out there and blow his arm out. You know, that's happened before. Guys that aren't used to pitching.
But Moose said, hey, watch me warm up with Esky and watch how much his ball moves. Because he can throw sinkers and sliders and everything cuts when he wants to.
He'll never get up there on that bump.
Ground ball short. Didi throws out Infante, and the Royals are quiet offensively in the 5th.
Field, and our Mazda game break takes us to the Bronx. Good line for Justin Verlander, 7 innings and 2 runs. Those 2 runs were both solo home runs, including this one from Chase Headley. That one off of Verlander in the 5th inning. Brian McCann would homer in the 7th inning. And the Yankees would add 3 more in the 8th, and they beat the Tigers 5-1. And so that is good news as far as the division goes for the Royals. Both of these teams in the playoff race. Yankees in the wild card right now, and the Tigers leading the division now by 4. So a win tonight, and the Royals would be 3.5 games back. Fizz?
It has been amazing how quickly the Royals have closed in on Detroit. Royals are 10-3 the last couple of weeks. Excellent ERA by a staff, 2.75. And they've shown some power of late, hitting 4 home runs the last 2 games. Good pitch. He tried to check his swing. Giordano already at 78 pitches, and Pennington went. Pops it up left side. Mike Moustakas makes the catch for out number 1. Fans, you can vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals, and you will be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Aoki has started the month of August very well, particularly with that grand slam last night, and he has 8 RBIs in his last 8 games. Aaron Hill, the batter, he singled his last time up. Line single to center field that scored Enciarte, who had tripled. The Diamondbacks hurt from the get-go during spring training when they got the news that one of their star left-handers, Patrick Corbin, was lost for the year because of Tommy John surgery. That was the beginning, and everything would soon follow. Their Wade Davis is a guy named David Hernandez. He went down in spring training, and then one after the other, Kirk Gibson lost player after player after player, and the team that was expected to be good is right now at 49-64. 3 starting pitchers in the DL, one of their top bullpen guys in the DL. And really, when they lost Paul Goldschmidt earlier in July, that was it. That was the final dagger. Goldschmidt done for the year, and that pretty much did it for the Diamondbacks' hopes at a wild card.
So bring the young'uns up.
And Bob Brentley, the Diamondbacks broadcaster, said it's been like spring training, Rex, where it's tryouts for the young guys.
A lot of teaching get here early, and these Diamondbacks are all in the field. They're doing all kinds of drills.
They do have a core of veterans on the field right now, and that's Pennington, Hill, Trumbo, and Montero, and they bat in order. Pennington going 2, Hill 3 right now, then Trumbo in the on-deck circle, and Montero after that, but everybody else, young guys. Great fastball at 100 miles an hour, and he blows Aaron Hill away.
Free and easy. 7th punch out. That makes the 3rd straight game he's had 7 strikeouts.
And he's done it in 5 innings. That game against the San Diego Padres, he had a season high of 10. He did that in only 6 innings. He wound up with a no decision because he made 1 bad pitch to a Padre who hit a 3-run home run that tied the game.
It's too bad also they missed Mark Trumbo for 3 months.
Yeah, he was out with that broken foot.
Yeah, he was telling me before the game, I asked him how it happened. He said just running to the outfield. He was just jogging out to the outfield, and he felt some tightness in the top of his foot, which is unusual. So he thought maybe it might be a cramp or something, and then it kept getting worse and worse. until finally they took pictures and said, man, you got a fracture in there. You got to get off it. So he had to miss 3 months.
I wonder if he had earlier fouled the ball off his foot, Hud, and just the running to the outfield was just
no. He said
the effect.
He said that it just happened running. He said didn't foul any ball off or anything. So I thought that was kind of an unusual injury. Kind of reminds me of a right-handed batting Jim Thome. See how he holds that bat out there like Thome would?
Butler with a nice play. Billy's played a very good first base.
That's 3 good feeds to the pitcher by Billy. All right, you want 100 miles an hour? You got it. Free and easy, right over the top. Ventura to the pin to win.
Scores. We come to you from Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Josh COLLMENTER finishing his warm-up tosses. And, of course, the 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Casey Ryan from Higginsville, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Casey will win $2,700. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Casey will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. Well, the Royals sending up their power guys. That means Perez with 13, Butler with 6, and Gordon with 9. Why not now and give Casey a nice paycheck?
Well, 3 straight changeups. COLLMENTER threw Salvi, struck him out last time up. So why not go with it again? 4 in a row now.
That one faded down and in on Salvador. And then he goes curveball, and that's knocked foul. 1 ball, 1 strike, picked off by Mike Jerschley, and he gives a fan a souvenir.
Yeah, so Montero's not giving Salvi any fastballs to hit after his night last night. Here comes a fastball in.
Missed low and away, though, and it's a 2-1 count.
Got to mix in the fastball every so often because, Salvi, he's going to start sitting on those off-speed pitches. It's all about adjustments in this game. Pitchers try to make the adjustments on the hitters depending on how the hitters are going.
COLLMENTER has only allowed 3 hits, 2 of them to Mike Moustakas. Both of them drove in runs. And yet he trails 3-2. Just barely low, and it's a full count.
Really good spot by COLLMENTER, though. He's dissecting the plate pretty well, keeping it out of the middle for the most part, except to Moose.
That is ball. Oh, they say he went, and Salvador can't believe it.
Could have went either way.
First baseman, Billy Butler.
I thought he sold it when he immediately went down to take off the shin protection from his left foot.
Tried to, but Tony Randazzo, he rung him up.
Billy goes to right field, and very quickly there are 2 outs in the 6th inning. So it will be up to Alex Gordon to give Casey Ryan $2,700. Well, Wednesdays at the K are Student Night and Local Music Showcase presented by Inc. Magazine. Show your student ID at the box office to get an $8 ticket, and make sure to get here early for food and drink specials and live local music in the outfield experience. The next Student Night is Wednesday against the A's, featuring music from Hearts of Darkness. Select tickets are available online at royals.com/student night. There is a ground ball to the second baseman. Aaron Hill will throw out Alex, and very quickly the Royals are down in order. That's 7 in a row retired by COLLMENTER. The selection is bigger and the prices are lower at Thoroughbred Ford, and by 5 Hour Energy. Beautiful evening in the desert here at Chase Field in Phoenix. The Royals have a 3-2 lead, and Ventura wants to keep them quiet. He has an 8-8 record. And there is a line drive base hit to left field by Miguel Montero, who wasn't going to wait, got a curveball that he liked and whacked it to left field. Fox Sports Kansas City Rally House and the Royals invite Husker fans to come to the K on Saturday, August 9th against the Giants. You can buy your tickets at royals.com/Huskers to be eligible to receive a limited edition Nebraska themed Royals cap. It's Huskers night for Alex Gordon, August 9th, brought to you by Fox Sports Kansas City and Rally House. That ball knocked to left center field, and Montero is to second base and 2 on with nobody out.
Montero got a curveball first pitch, and he looked like he was sitting on it. Good inside out swing, and then comes right back with the next pitch, fastball. Let's check out Montero's swing. This is an excellent piece of hitting on a curveball first pitch. He recognizes it, stays at it, is down the middle of the plate, stayed inside of it. And now Peralta comes up, got a high fastball.
So 2 on with nobody out. Gregorius might be bunting to sacrifice, and while we have the time, let's go to Joel.
Well, Fizz, thanks. Hud, you were talking about all the languages that Didi Gregorius speaks. That's pretty common for someone from Curacao. Now, he was born in Amsterdam, but the family moved to Curacao when he was a young boy. One of many players right now in the big leagues from Curacao. Pretty good list there. Xander Bogaerts, Didi Gregorius, Kenley Jansen, Jurickson Profire, Jonathan Scope, and Andrelton Simmons. Simmons thought of as one of the best, if not the best, fielding shortstops in baseball. And Gregorius and Simmons grew up together right down the street, went to school together. They both pitched. Simmons played shortstop, Gregorius second and third base. Now, here's the interesting thing, guys, on Simmons. He played for the World Cup team that won gold, and the reward, instead of getting money for doing that, was he was knighted.
Wow.
Now, he had to be vetted for that. He said that you had to have a clean record or they weren't going to give you the honor. Well, he passed the test. He is Sir Didi Gregorius.
Wow.
So I don't know if you guys were aware of it, if you talked to him. I know I talked to a knight yesterday.
I bowed to him. Ball in there, blocked beautifully by Salvador Perez.
A little surprised that Knight's not bunting here. With runners at first and second, nobody out. He's a good bunter. I thought for sure he'd be trying to move the runners.
I know Moose immediately came in and was talking to him about the bunt situation with Montero at second and Peralta at first, but we haven't seen it from Didi yet.
Sixth inning, obviously. Kirk Gibson trying to go for a big inning, hoping for big things out of Gregorius' bat.
He came in hot, batting .355. His last 9 games has walked and grounded out in this one. And they're coming back inside and got him to swing and miss. So both corners get to back up, and Moustakas and Butler will have a little more range to go after a ground ball.
That looked like that had some cutting action to it as well. So he'll mix in a few cutters once in a while. Ventura.
He struck him out.
Left field, Roger Keechnick.
So the young rookie, they let him swing away, taking a chance he might get a hit, but you're much better trying to bunt. But however, it's very difficult to bunt a mid-90s fastball, so you got to take that in consideration for that as well.
Rex, not only that, but Roger Keechnick is up now, and he has had nothing but problems against Ventura. He has struck out twice, and that was probably the best swing he's had on any Ventura pitch. And then, of course, the pitcher spot, COLLMENTER.
Now, COLLMENTER, if there was no outs, you're not going to bunt him with a pitcher coming up.
Popped up left side. Salvi races over. And again, Rex, Salvi had to jump over all of that junk in the on-deck circle.
Well, the junk is the weighted bat. Donut. There's a steel bar there for guys that like to swing the steel bar. You got Keechnick in the 4th inning. Salvi setting up basically in the middle, and that 2-seamer went away from him. Good movement. Got it.
Keechnick has struck out 16 times this year and has not walked once. Ventura has been very aggressive with the left-handed batter. Opponents only batting .213 against Giordano with runners in scoring position coming into this game, but they got 2 clutch base hits in the 3rd. Now it's a 2-2 count, and he's overthrown the last 2.
Yep, looks like it. Falling off a little bit to that right side.
Looked like he recoiled a little bit, and Dave Island wants him to finish. Ooh, barely missed.
Pretty good spot. He wanted the swing.
In the air, right side Aoki. Montero will tag, but he will not advance. And that's 2 big outs recorded by Yordano Ventura with runners on first and second. A strikeout of Gregorius, and now getting Kieschnick on a fly to right. We'll see a pinch hitter for Josh COLLMENTER. It will be Jordan Pacheco, who played first base for the Diamondbacks last night and doubled his first time up, but then made outs his last 3.
He's 3 for 9 off of Gibson's bench as a pinch hitter.
The Diamondbacks were very aggressive on Ventura early in this inning. Montero went after the first pitch, a curveball, and lined into left field. Peralta went after the second pitch at fastball and singled to center field, and Gregorius swung at the first pitch he saw from Ventura as well. Arizona 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position in this series. Ball 1. Pacheco does not have a home run this year. Had one earlier this season as a member of the Colorado Rockies.
That's Evan Marshall loosening up.
Ground ball short. Escobar has it, gets it his second, inning over. Great job by Ventura. He goes 6, gives up 2, and his evening likely over. Baseball and the Royals as we remember and pay tribute to those who lost their lives or loved ones on September 11th. And the Royals take on the Red Sox. All uniformed heroes and first responders have access to $10 field plaza and $5 Hy-Vee infield seats as a thank you for their service. Just go to govx.com/Royals or purchase at the box office with a valid ID. We remember well that day, and here is a young man, Evan Marshall, out of Kansas State University. Pitched in 34 games this year, a 4.2 record with a 3.56 ERA. He is our Chevy call to the bullpen.
Yep, 11 walks. It's like 33 strikeouts, a 30 and a 30. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's got mid-90s stuff. His fastball, two-seamer, heavy sink to it. Slider, curve, and occasional changeups.
He is from Homestead, California, but a neighbor down the street went to Kansas State and, of course, loved the school and suggested Evan go there. He went to Kansas State, became a Wildcat, very proud of it. And now he's pitching for the Diamondbacks in the big leagues. Haven't been too many Wildcats pitching the big leagues, but Evan is one.
He's got a short, compact delivery. Really comes out of there. Almost looks like a little three-quarter action from his arm angle.
Lorenzo Cain's the first man he'll face. He's been on twice with a single and a walk.
If Evan has a problem, usually it's because he flies open with his front side. Leaves that ball a little bit flatter out over the middle. That's what Lorenzo's hoping for.
It's a swing and bunt, and Marshall just does get Cain at first base.
He can bounce well off of that mound. That was a swing and bunt. Cain got out of the box quickly, but Marshall, no step, just picked it up and threw and got him, barely.
Mike Moustakas has been the Royals' offense tonight. A 2-run home run in the second and a clutch 2-out RBI single in the fourth to break the 2-2 tie.
It's a firm sinker. At 94, right? That pitch there is where Moose hit out of the yard. Same location.
Bangs that one to the second baseman Hill, and very quickly 2 outs in the 7th inning. Let's go to our Academy Sports and Outdoors starters comparison. Ventura went 6 innings, gave up 2. COLLMENTER went 6 innings, gave up 3. And right now, Giordano in line to get the win if the Royals pen can hold on, and COLLMENTER would take the loss unless the Snakes come back.
Well, Ventura's night's over.
Yeah.
Ibanez is in the on-deck circle.
And not only that, but he's well over 100 pitches through 6 innings. And they're watching both he and Duffy very, very closely the last 2 months of the season. That's why Danny totally understood when Ned Yost took him out of the game after 5 innings, after throwing 94 pitches last night, simply saying, hey, we had a 12-1 lead at the time.
And the bullpen's rested.
Royals an incredible 45-1 with the lead after the 7th inning, and in the bottom of this inning it will be the top of the order coming up. Escobar down in the count as that hard sinker came boring down and in on Esky. Royals 9-4 versus the National League this year, their first winning record in interleague play since 2008. Kansas City went 13-5 that year. Playing some good baseball, particularly here at Chase Field. Won 5 of the last 7 at Chase, and Rex averaged 8.5 runs per game. Last night, of course, helped, scoring 12.
They like it here, even though it seems to be a little darker in this ballpark because of the roof and the surroundings. The seats are dark green.
Up the middle, Hill backhands, and Escobar has himself an infield hit, and we will see Raul Ibanez in the 7th.
Marshall, he didn't want any part of that ball. He got out of the way of it. Looked like he could have made a play. Let's take a look. The 20th infield hit leads the Royals. Hill made a nice play, but there's no chance. Ibanez 5 for 19 as a pinch hitter this year, 4 RBIs.
Let's see if he is patient and allows Escobar to go early in the count. Esky with 23 steals this year to lead the team. Modest lead right now. He does not go, and Raul hits it to the right side. Hill has it, and that does it for the Royals' threat here in the 7th inning. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning, and we'll see Kelvin when we come back.
Fans, we have worked out a great deal on Chiefs tickets. The Bengals come to town Thursday, and tickets for less has tickets starting at only $10. In addition, for a limited time, enter the code word Chiefs and receive a nice discount. This is your chance to take the family to see the Chiefs at a fantastic price. Check out ticketsforless.com. Guys, wanted to give a little shout out and a get well. This was passed on to me yesterday by a Royals fan here to Angelica Carpenter. She's a softball coach at West Platte. Car accident a couple of days ago. Get well. We hope that she is on the mend quickly. Big time Royals fan. So Angelica, all of us here at Fox Sports Kansas City wish you a speedy recovery.
Yes.
Vince?
Thank you very much, Joel. And here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Kelvin Herrera will take over, pitching in his 48th game this year. And you see he has excellent numbers. They've been even better lately. He's held opponents to 1 run over his last 18 2/3 innings since June 7th. That is a sparkling 0.48 earned run average.
Ned has his back end of the pin lined up. 7, 8, 9. Just like that to get a lead like this and hoping it can work. Herrera with that above average fastball, above average changeup. And he'll roll a few curveballs up there.
Herrera in the 7th, Davis in the 8th, Holland in the 9th. Beautifully thrown off-speed pitch that knife back on the inside corner.
It's the kind of action he's got on his changeup.
And Ciarte wasn't expecting that, but now he's down 0-2.
He took a Ventura fastball off the ground, off the shoe tops for a triple.
Now he raises the velocity 10 miles an hour from 91 to 101. His changeup is 3 to 4 miles an hour more than Bruce Chen's fastball.
Oh, believe it. He's got a gifted arm.
Ground ball to Infante. He has to hustle, and they just do get the speedy Enciarte at first base.
Anything hits soft like that, you know, and he's already on that left side of the box coming out of there was really quick. Just made it close, a routine ball.
He's the fastest base runner in the Diamondbacks organization.
It's Dave McKay, first base coach.
Longtime first base coach for Tony La Russa with Oakland and St. Louis. There is strike one to Cliff Pennington, who is 1 for 3, singled his first time up. Wild pitch sent him to second, but he was left stranded when Hill struck out and Trumbo popped up. Herrera is getting back that 2012 mojo he had, Hud, when he had that terrific 2012 rookie season, and then was roughed up early last year, wound up with an ERA over 3, but it's back under 2 again, and just his physical body language exudes confidence.
He's a different pitcher, but you know, you have to, in order to move forward, you have to take a couple steps back, and that's what happened last season for him. You know, this game is the best in the world, and these hitters are great, and sometimes, you know, they can get in the back of your mind, and he went through a spell where he gave up quite a few home runs and had to send him to the minors a couple of times, but that sometimes does the trick. Gets him to focus a little bit more on his location. He has improved his breaking ball. It used to be kind of a flatter slider back in the last couple of years, in his first couple of seasons, but now he's moved his grip on top of the ball, and he's coming down with the break, and he's getting some more 12-6 type of rotation on the ball.
And I think a lot of fans forget that he's still only 24 years old. Won't turn 25 until New Year's Eve in December.
And you know, so he's growing mentally more than physically now. And in another year or so, I mean, who knows? He's got closer stuff. It's always good to have 2 or 3 guys in your bullpen that can step in there when needed. But he's got those 2 main pitches, and that's all a closer really needs.
Grounder to second. Infante will take care of the first 2 Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 7th. Fans, you can get closer to the action at the K with the new seat upgrade option using the MLB.com at the ballpark app. Simply choose Kauffman Stadium, hit the upgrade seat button to improve your seat, and then enjoy the game with your new tickets. So find your perfect seat while at the K with the seat upgrade feature on the At the Ballpark app. And Rex, I've talked to a lot of Royal fans who love that. They said they've moved from one level to the next and really had outstanding seats near the Royals dugout. There's a breaking ball that almost comes too far inside on Aaron Hill.
Yeah, the new apps, the new technology is making it easier for fans. That's a curveball that didn't work.
My brother lives here in Phoenix, and he has a Royals app that whenever the Royals are playing, it will show the result of that inning and what the score is. And so he said he always knows that Kansas City's winning. He said this has been a pretty good road trip, and I said 3-1 so far. And he was in the booth last night. He's a big Royals fan when the Royals scored 8 in the 5th.
It's going to be up to the back end of the pin in this one. Looks like their offense has cooled off some, but they got a 1-run lead.
Great fastball there. Down action, 1-2 to Hill.
First 2 outs in this inning were off the changeup. Guys out in front trying to pull the ball, and Herrera's more interested in outs now than he is blowing guys away.
Boy, when he stays on top of that baseball, it has great late life down. Throws another good one, but fouled off. Hill is one of their power guys. He has 9 home runs this year, even though he hasn't played in all of their games because of injuries.
You see Salvador, and you folks might notice that whenever there's a ball that short hops the glove, he always hands it back to the umpire and the umpire throws it out. It's because the ball gets cuts on it from the dirt, and a pitcher gets the ball back and he can make it move with the cuts that are in the ball. The previous pitch, see how that short hops Salvi, he immediately turns around and gives it to the umpire, and most of the time the umpires will throw it out and they'll use it again for batting practice.
Just barely missed inside. He walks Hill and now must face the power of Mark Trumbo. And Trumbo's really been hot of late. We told you that Mark missed those 3 months because of the foot injury. He's come back and was hitting .389 his last 5 games after starting very slow after going out for a rehab assignment. Trumbo belted 34 home runs as an Angel last year. Strike one.
Good spot.
A veteran now at the age of 28 out of Anaheim. He's gone to right field well in this series. He has faced Herrera before and is 2 for 3 with a double, tying run at first base in Hill. Advantage Herrera at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, we told you earlier that it seems like his hot zone is the belt and below down to the knees. Salvi did work him, or asked Ventura to work him up with a fastball earlier in the game, and now Herrera, they might do the same thing. In comes Omar from second base.
Changeup's been a good pitch for him in this inning, getting the lefties out, but better make sure that it stays down and in and not out over the plate to this guy.
He struck him out with a fastball at 100 miles an hour, and that ends the threat for the Diamondbacks in the 7th.
Oh, love how he just powered it by Trumbo. Woo-wee, that's some gasolina.
Told you about the Yankees beating the Tigers, Cincinnati all over Cleveland, Toronto 5-1, and San Francisco leading late against Milwaukee. Our Mazda game break takes us north of the border up to Toronto. Wei Yin Chen say hello to Jose Bautista. 2-run shot in the second inning, 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second. Blue Jays win at 5-1. They're 4 behind the Orioles. And as far as the wild card race goes, Toronto at this moment 1 game ahead of the Royals, so the Royals would jump back to a half a game out with a victory here. And Hud, you talked about controlling your own destiny. Now, they won't play Toronto again, but nice to see them ahead of so many other teams. You remember last year down the race, just so many teams that they had to catch. They're right in the thick of this thing.
Better believe they are. Another insurance run, though, for the back end of the pin would be nice.
And Ned Yost keeps saying, win series, win series. If they win tonight, they'll have won this series. And then they'll have the final game tomorrow night, Guthrie against Nuno. Marshall with that good off-speed pitch, but misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wade Davis warming in the Royals bullpen. This might be Aoki's final at bat. They could go to Dyson defensively in center field and move Kane to right. Up the middle, backhanded by Hill, throws out Aoki. 1 down.
Solid play. Hill came and got it before the ball got him.
OMAR INFANTE.
Marshall, a lot of hard sinkers. Going to find a hole. You get a lot of guys that hit it on the ground.
The last 2 games at the top of the order really has been hot. They had 8 hits in the final game against Oakland. They were on base 6 times, the top of the order yesterday, but they're 0 for 13. Batters 1 through 4 in this one. Infante has popped up and grounded out twice. Kansas City won big last night, 12-2, but it was a tense one from the get-go. The Royals took a 2-0 lead on Mike Moustakas' home run in the second, but Arizona tied it with 2 in the third before Moose came up with an RBI single to make it 3-2. Now Infante goes to center field, and that ball will be caught about 15 feet from the warning track by Inciarte. Well, Saturday, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader as the Yankees head to the Bronx to face Michael Brantley and the Indians, followed by the Cardinals taking on the Orioles. Coverage begins Saturday at 11:30 only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Just 1 hit in the last 4 innings off the Royals. That was an infield hit by Escobar. Get me over slider, and obviously Salvi's not getting many fastballs at all tonight.
Well, there he got one at 93, but up and in. And you know, when Salvador came up, he showed a lot of power to center and to right center field, but almost all of his home runs since have been to left or left center field.
Well, it's because they're trying to pitch him inside.
Yeah.
They know he's so good to the opposite field. So they're coming in. He's been waiting on them. They get him sometimes. Sometimes he gets the pitcher. Times he gets a little over anxious.
Leads all American League catchers with 106 hits. 28 multi-hit games. Another changeup fouled off. The Royals with 3 runs on 4 hits. The Diamondbacks with 2 runs on 8 hits. Moose has been the difference, driving in all 3, and Ventura and the bullpen. Herrera has been able to keep Arizona, for the most part, rather quiet. And he chased a bad ball and strikes out, and Marshall strikes out Perez, and we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, where Arizona will face the impressive Wade Davis. Wade Davis is called the silent assassin by his teammate James Shields. And one of the reasons why is opponents die very quickly with his heat. Leading after 7 innings, the Royals are a very impressive 45-1 this year. And Davis, working his 46th game, has an 0.95 ERA. That's the lowest full season ERA by a Royals reliever in the history of the team. Now, for a full season, it's 1-2-1. Dyson comes into play center field. Kane moves from center to right. And here is Miguel Montero, and he swings at the first pitch, fastball, strike one.
Yep, fastball, strike one is Davis and Greg Holland's best pitch. Get ahead. Wade Davis, mid to upper 90s with his fastball. Got an excellent cutter. He'll throw to righties and lefties. And a little overhand curveball that's very effective. 3-pitch mix.
The lowest full season ERA by a Royals reliever is 1.21, set last season by Greg Holland, and Davis, if he continues his excellence, would eclipse that. He has an 0.95 ERA, giving up 5 earned runs in 47 1/3 innings. Facing a hot batter, Montero, who's 2 for 3. And he fouls it out of play left side.
Yeah, when you look at his strikeouts to innings pitched, it's amazing. 47 1/3 coming into this game. 73 punch-outs. Opponents only hitting 124 on him.
Not many words, but plenty of strikeouts. He wants the high heat. Ground ball, short. Escobar, long throw. Not in time. Infield hit for Montero.
Escobar couldn't find the grip on the ball. He would have gotten him Most likely had he got the grip the first time around. Tough play coming to his right. He couldn't quite find it out of his glove, and that's all it took. Good pickup by Billy. Just couldn't quite get it out. Montero will come off, and they'll get a speedier runner out there.
Nick Ahmed, who started at shortstop last night.
Ahmed just runs better. He doesn't have a stolen base yet.
Now David Peralta, and Davis left one up. Now Wade has had 4 days off. He appeared in his 3rd game in as many nights on Friday in Oakland, working a 1-2-3 8th inning with a pair of strikeouts. That was the Royals' 1-0 victory. Boy, was that an electric game. We were on the edge of our seats throughout. Guthrie got the win. Ibanez got the game-winning home run. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Davis really works the upper part of the strike zone well. He'll come in and then he'll go away. And then he'll drop the curveball, which kind of messes with the hitter's eye level. And then he'll mix in a cutter.
Did not get the young Peralta to chase, so he now has a 2-1 count. Peralta also 2 for 3 in this game. The Diamondbacks have had plenty of opportunities, but they've left 8 men stranded. Moose chasing it. Does he have room? Yes, he does. And 1 big out here in the 8th inning. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. It comes from Melody with Slugger.
That's a great shot.
He'll be coming home after tomorrow night's game. We've got the San Francisco Giants in town for evening games on Friday, Saturday, and then an afternoon contest, 1 o'clock at the K against the Giants. Vargas, Shields, and Duffy for KC, Bumgarner, Hudson, and Lincecum for the Giants. We hope to see a packed house, everybody dressed in blue.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, that last homestand was awesome. Look at that crowd. They're already getting excited about going home, but they've got some business to take care of before they get there.
Giants for 3, then the Athletics Monday through Thursday next week. And then we're back out on the road for a long trip. Minnesota, Colorado, and Texas.
Now, Wade Davis has induced 2 ground ball double plays. If he's not striking them out, they hit fly balls.
Gregorius 0 for 2 with a ground out and strikeout. And that last strikeout he had was rather critical because Arizona had runners on first and second. We thought they might bunt to get him over, but with Roger Kieschnick and the pitcher's spot following, Gibson decided to go away from the bunt.
Yep.
Let him swing for the big inning.
Take your chances sometimes. Gregorius is a spray type of hitter. You can see he chokes up on the bat, gives him a little more leverage, better balance.
Popped him up. Left side for Escobar. 2 outs.
Left field, Roger Kieschnick.
Wade Davis has been downright spectacular since moving to the bullpen. He has an 0.94 ERA out of the pen since the start of 2013. That's tops among major league relievers who have worked at least 50 innings. So Davis to face Roger Kieschnick, who 2 of his 3 times he's been up with runners in scoring position and made out. 1 time striking out, 1 time flying out to right field.
Pitcher spot is on deck, and it won't be Marshall.
Looks like Ghostwish is moving to the on-deck circle, and he's the guy who will replace Miguel Montero defensively behind the plate in the top of the 9th. Line to left field. That will drop for a hit. So Kieschnick does come through, and we'll see Ghostwish.
Ghostwish 2 for 4 off the bench for Gibson. Fastball down the middle of the plate. It's a short, easy swing. Found a hit.
So here is Tuffy Ghostwish, and he's a guy, a local lad who played at Arizona State. He came out of Freeport, Illinois, but played for the Sun Devils from 2002 through 2005.
But they like him. He's a really good catcher.
But not much as a hitter. That's what the scouting report says.
Well,
we'll see.
Anybody with a bat in your hand can hurt you. Davis wants to stay at his strengths, and that's fastballs on the corner. Maybe he might see a couple cutters here.
Tuffy swinging the bat better, hitting .313 with an RBI his last 10 games. Ahmed now in scoring position, representing the tying run. 0-2.
Yep, it looks good, but you just can't get to it. He might try that again, maybe up a little bit higher.
At 97, that's awfully hard to catch up to.
You better believe it.
2 on, 2 out. Yep. Royals leading 3-2, bottom of the 8th inning in Arizona.
Good arms in the outfield. They don't look real deep either. They're pretty shallow. Lorenzo Cain, he's playing Ghostwish to the line in right. Dyson's a little bit shading the opposite field as well.
He went with the cut fastball instead of the high heat. Ghostwish a little bit underneath and fouled it straight back.
Davis needing a strikeout right here. Take him yourself.
He went back with the cutter. They're calling that a foul ball.
Staying alive. Good location there. Good time for that curveball. Just to let the hitter know he's got that pitch. Salvi couldn't quite glove it.
And Rexy's gone down with the last 2 pitches, but really fooled him on a high heater. Would you go back upstairs with a favorable count at 1-2?
After that pitch, yes. But we'll see. Salvi knows best.
In there, strike 3 called, and Ghost Wish is down. So are the Diamondbacks. They have stranded 10 in 8 innings tonight, and the Royals lead going to the 9th at 3-2.
Waiter, give me that check. To you by Miller Lite. There has been a moose sighting here in the Valley of the Sun. First time up, he didn't waste any time. He took COLLMENTER's fastball out, and then he did it again the next time up. He got a base hit and knocked in Alex Gordon. It's been all moose as the moose is loose.
Well, we'll have a new battery, and it's Gozwish who struck out, pinch hitting to end the 8th inning, and he'll be working with a new pitcher who probably saw a few Royals games growing up. He is Matt Stites out of Festus, Missouri, went to Jefferson Community College and then on to Mizzou. 18 games this year, a rather high ERA. He will face Butler, Gordon, and Kane. And if anybody gets on, back to Moose. Well, Billy is 0 for 3, twice flying out to right field and striking out in between in the 4th.
Stites got a pretty good fastball, mid-90s, good hard slider. Occasional curveball he'll roll up there.
Royals want to give Greg Holland a little of insurance. In the bottom half of the inning, it will be the top of the order, and Ciarte, Pennington, and Hill to face Greg.
Hey, mix in that hard slider now. Billy's seen both of them. Goshwick took that right off the melon. He's got a different mask than Salvador wears. It's a little more tighter to the face.
Holland warming in the Kansas City pen. A lighter mask, but that's been one of the problems a lot of catchers think with all of the concussions. Billy goes right center field and deep. That's a way back. And leaping at the wall, the ball will fall at the feet of the center fielder and Ciarte, and Billy has a leadoff double.
Stites left the ball up on the 3rd pitch. Billy, he put a charge into it. I thought it had a chance. He barreled it, hit it right where it was pitched, went away with it. Oh, man, he looked like he had it. And Ciarte. And Billy says, is that a homer? Nope, you saw a little bounce. He'll take his 23rd double.
Well, he just barely got to second base in time, standing up before that tag came down. Here is Alex Gordon, 0 for 2 with a walk. Alex goes after the first pitch, had a good pass through, and it's 0-1.
Yep, everything's hard out of Matt Stites. Outfield fairly deep, especially in right field.
Oh, and they came in and hit Alex. And Rex, if Billy was DHing, the Royals may pinch run Christian Colon for him, but with Hosmer on the DL, Billy's got to play first base, and they also lost Raul Ibanez after he pinch hit earlier.
Yep, there's not going to be any changes out there now. You're going to have to find a way to get Billy home. That ball just clipped off of his right thigh. For the 7th time he's been hit this year. Can't hurt those things, that's for sure. But he'll take a glancing blow rather than a solid hit on the thigh. That'll hurt. How would you like to go down to first base and have Rusty Kuntz waiting for you with a big smile? You know you're going to get some encouragement. You're going to get some kind of positive vibe from Rusty. You know, he's a perfect guy to have around.
Mike Harkey, meantime, comes out for a visit with Matt Stites. Rex, are they thinking that Kane might be bunting? I don't think the Royals would, because Billy's speed or lack of at second base.
And if he is successful, then Moose will be up and first base will be open. So I would expect him to swing the bat. Usually the coach puts his hand on your shoulder. Lorenzo Cain's got his hand on Jershely's shoulder.
So you're thinking that maybe go to the low Kane triangle?
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. That's what he just told him. Just knock him in.
Just knock it over the head of the second baseman and in front of the center and right fielder.
Yep, something soft would be good enough to get Billy home probably. Anything hard, Jersh might have to hold him with nobody out. But we'll see. Maybe they'll elect a bunt and then put the pressure on Gibson.
Both corners are in, so they're anticipating a bunt. I'm thinking that Ned's going to let Lorenzo swing away, and he does. And the first pitch is a slider that catches the outside corner for strike one.
Yeah, we saw him in the second inning dump it right in the low Kane triangle. That's what he'd love here. Infield in, pull that ball right by the third baseman.
And he cracks it to center field. Backing up. Enciarte, he'll make the catch. Billy's tagging, going to third. And Gordon was thinking about going to second base, but Enciarte was able to quickly get the throw back to second base.
Good pass at the ball. Solid contact, productive out. Moose has been hot, been carrying the load. Knocked in all three of the Royals' runs tonight. See if he can make it a fourth run.
And he hit the ball sharply his last time up, and right to the second baseman Hill. 2 for 3 on the evening.
Yeah, runners in scoring position average coming up. Production numbers are good. And Gibson's going to go to the lefty.
He's got De La Rosa, Perez as left-handers. Oliver Perez has been their hottest pitcher of late. We'll see a new Diamondback on the mound when we come back. generation and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be
disseminated
without the express written consent of the Royals. We come to you from Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. The Royals won big last night, 12-2. They lead tonight by the slimmest of margins, 3-2, but they have runners on first and third, only one out, but a very tough lefty coming out of the Arizona bullpen. Oliver Perez, 1.87 ERA, but he has thrown scoreless baseball in 15 of his last 16 games and 9 straight at home. And he is called on to face Mike Moustakas, who's been the Royal offense tonight with all 3 RBIs. Now, lefty's actually hitting him much better. But Rex, quite frankly, if an opponent sends a left-hander out there, it's usually his best hitter in the team.
Yeah, well, Perez is going to show 92 to 95 with his fastball. He's got a loose arm. He's going to be 3/4, and he's going to break a slider and a slow curve off to Moose.
Mike checks his swing on the first pitch.
Moose
wanders outside, ball 1.
He knows he's going to get maybe 1 fastball in this at bat, but he's got to really discipline himself to lay off of those breakers there. Looking for something up, he can get a sac fly or better.
In there. Another breaking ball, and the count is 1-1.
So that breaking ball there started behind Moose, and it came over for a strike. So that's what a hitter looks for, that release point. See where that breaking ball starts way behind him. When he starts it at him, it's going to be away.
Moose goes after the next breaking ball and sends it foul. So down in the count at 1-2. Hasn't seen the heater yet.
May not. Perez is going more sidearm than he is 3/4. It's a deceptive angle and a tough angle for a lefty.
He's a veteran now, former starter, now 32 years of age. Has been around with San Diego, Pittsburgh, the Mets, St. Louis, back to New York, Seattle, and now Arizona. And Moose with a shot that Hill makes a remarkable play. They try and turn the double play, and out at first is Moustakas. The Royals may argue this one, but what a great play by that man, Aaron Hill.
Oh, man, this is a big call right here. Moose.
They're going to look at it.
Yeah, Moose, he dove. You don't see that very often, but you're almost better by going feet first. They say you get there quicker, but we'll have to see. The replay will call that. Hit him. I mean, right on the screws. Hill made a great play, like you said, Fizz. That was really all about reaction. Perez tried to sneak a piece of cheese on the inside part. Too bad Moose couldn't get up under that. He would have had a 3-run homer. Great stop. Got it over there somehow to Gregorius. Oh, man, I'll tell you, if you're going to dive head first, you got to get those hands fully extended. Palm on the base. Looks like he beat it.
Well, right now, the first base umpire Tony Randazzo and the crew chief Dana DeMuth saying he's safe, and the Royals score a run. Billy Butler checks in from third to give KC a 4-2 lead.
Way to get there, Moose.
He has driven in all of Kansas City's runs tonight.
Oh, my.
A home run, a base hit, and now a ground out.
And he earned that, and believe me, he'll be feeling that tomorrow morning, but he got that hand in there just in time. And sometimes that can be a little confusing for the umpire. They're used to hearing the foot hit the bag and the ball pop at the glove.
That is a huge run for Greg Holland.
Way to go, Moose. Have a night.
Here's Escobar trying to drop one to right, but coming on to cut it off is David Peralta. But the Royals score on a Moustakas ground out, and Kansas City gives the baseball to Greg Holland and says go get him with a 2-run lead. and nail down another Royal victory.
Hammer time.
Closers in baseball, and he was able to knock off the Oakland Athletic for saves 30 and 31 on Friday and Sunday.
Ooh, steady as she goes. He gets this save here, he'll be atop the American League in saves. Moose, glad you showed up today, bud.
Did he ever, with all 4 RBIs for Kansas City. And Greg Holland, 31 for 33 in save opportunities. Look at the strikeouts, 64 in only 42 2/3 innings. And he will face a rather young NCRT who tries to bunt, his first time facing Greg Holland in his life, and gets strike 1.
It's a pretty good try. He's got really good speed.
NCRT with a triple in the 3rd and scored the first of the 2 Arizona runs. Last time up, he was thrown out by Infante by a hair. Outside with his first slider.
Mid to upper 90s fastball, slider split. Has command with all of them.
Ground ball. Escobar knows he has to hurry. Fine play by Esky.
His arm strength amazes me. He stayed on top with his throwing motion.
He tipped his cap to Greg Holland, who saluted him.
That's right. That's a heck of a play. He made it look easy, but you got to get rid of it with something on it. See how he stays on top with his arm angle? That's the leverage he uses to get some power on it.
Boy, you throw him out by plenty, too.
Quick. He got rid of it with some petrol on it.
Do you call that rid and troll?
That's right. He showed a little rid and troll.
Cliff Pennington, called today off the disabled list, was very hot down in the minor leagues, hitting .406, 1 for 3 in his 1 for 4, I beg your pardon, with 2 strikeouts. Goes to left field, and that will drop. A base hit for Pennington. Will not challenge the arm of Gordon.
First base coach Dave McKay, he was screaming, "Don't go."
Well, now you have to go through the power of the Diamondbacks. That was a big run that Moustakas drove in the top of this inning to make it a 4-2 game. So the best Hill can do is tie it. He has in his career 144 home runs. Two years ago, his first with the Diamondbacks, hit 26. Strike one.
Good spot. Holland has induced one double play ball this year. Hill, I told you, he's hit into a bunch of them. 14.
Way inside, almost hit him. And Hill was barely able to get out of the way.
Holland didn't want to do that, that's for sure. It's a good thing.
Particularly with the power hitting Trumbo waiting on deck. But following Trumbo, remember, they do not have Miguel Montero because they pinch ran for him earlier. So the Diamondbacks don't have much experience on their bench. Good slider. It's a 1-2 count now. He wants him to shake. Slider line in the gap. Pennington will make it to third.
Slider stayed up. Salvador wanted this one down. This is a pitch right here. He wants him to be able to swing and miss out in the dirt, but he left it up and short, compact swing. Hill won it. Dyson, nice job of keeping the double play in order. Get that ball into second base. Glenn Sherlock, third base coach.
The Diamondbacks have not had many clutch hits in this game. They've left 10 runners stranded through 8. The Royals trying to do that again, and Trumbo 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts against Holland in his career. First pitch slider, that's the one he wanted to throw Hill, and he gets ahead of Trumbo. Now he has the advantage, 0-2.
Took a big rip. Maybe Holland goes upstairs here. Elevates a fastball. See if he can blow it by it. Got to be careful though. I mean, you got to make sure you get it up above his hitting zone.
Andy Marte is in the on-deck circle to hit for the pitcher.
That's what Salvi's calling for.
And Trumbo with a fly ball to left. Gordon has it measured. He'll make the catch, bring the throw to second to make sure the tying run doesn't get to scoring position. So Holland gives up a run on a sacrifice fly.
Oh yeah, he got that ball up enough to where Trumbo couldn't barrel it. That was the high fastball, and he just hit it off the end of his bat. You could tell the vibration from the Phantom cam that he didn't square it up. He hit it off the end of the bat. You see all the vibration on there, but good enough for one. That's why the insurance run that Moose picked up was extremely valuable.
Now a 4-3 score, and Marte, the batter, who's a good power hitter, but very inconsistent, and he swings at the first pitch fastball and fouls it straight back. He's a guy who bounced around throughout his career, was one of the top prospects in the Braves and Cleveland organization. But as late as last year was playing independent baseball back east.
It's 4 for 10 with a home run off the bench.
Good numbers. Slider doesn't make the zone, and it's a 1-1 count. Diamondbacks down to their last strike. Holland a strikeout pitcher with 64, 42 and 2/3.
He's been leaving that slider elevated. Might try the same location now that he did Trumbo.
Salvi wants to make sure they're on the same page. Selection and location. Holland has not been as sharp tonight as we saw in that Oakland series. And he was able to nail down wins immediately on Friday and Sunday. A little bit low, and now the runner with 2 out will be moving from first base. And this is a rare time we've seen Andy Marte patient. He's always been known as a free swinger. Holland with the 3-2, and he strikes him out with the slider. Game over. Royals win their 59th this year.
30-second save. Moose was loose. Tremendous job carrying the offense.
With Detroit losing to the Yankees, the Royals now just 3.5 games back in the Central, and they stay close in the wild card, but this was anything but like the game we witnessed last night when the Royals blew out the Diamondbacks 12-2. It was tense all the way. And the Royals with some clutch pitching again, Hud, as the Diamondbacks stranded 11 runners.
It was beautiful. They got the series in the first 2 games. Tomorrow, you go for the neck. Step on it. Kill the snakes.